Well, here we are. It's May 7th, 2014, and they've started work on the pool. This is just after we repaired the crack in the deep end, and we lowered the pool water level so that they could remove the coping. Here we see that he's taking it off very carefully as to not disturb the tile, because some of the bids that we had were from contractors that said that they'd have to replace the tile, and we didn't really want to do that because it was a $5,000 charge to replace the tile. So we found this contractor, and they said that they could do it without replacing the tile. So they were very careful in removing the coping all the way around the pool, and made quite a mess for a while. The pool water was drained down so that there was just water in the deep end. And right here we see a close-up of exactly how deep the coping was. The coping was about 2 inches thick. Each slab that was 2 feet long was 2 inches thick, and there were right around 98 pieces all the way around the pool, 98 coping slabs. But this time, the coping slab pieces are out of date, and so we're going to be pouring new concrete to form the coping. And here we have the patchwork that was done earlier in the year. A month prior, we had to let it sit for a while so that it would cure to about 50-60%, and so we had to keep water on it. Now, when I came out the first time to see what kind of work they were doing, I was shocked at the amount of damage that was caused just from the end loader, the cat coming in to remove the concrete slabs, the decking, all the way around the pool. They have a job to do, and to get the job done, they have certain things that they have to do, and they need access and right-of-way to everything. But I didn't expect them to knock over the gate and tear up the secondary concrete you just saw right there. As I'm walking around the pool, it looks like a disaster. And the first day that they came out to replace it, they were pretty to take out the coping, the slabs. They were pretty careful. But the second day, a different operator came on the cat, and it was a younger kid, and he just was a rip at it type of guy, and destroyed a lot of the concrete sections that should have been left alone. So I was going around inspecting how they'd done the work, and there's the front gate right there. They just ran over that pole and removed the gate, and just to get that cat in there. They also tore up some of the grass that we had there next to the pool house. The couple, about a week later, they came in with heavy equipment, and they put stone down. They have 3 truckloads of stone that were delivered, and the cat would bring the stone in, and they would lay the stone on top of the area where they took out the concrete decking as a support base for the concrete that was coming in. The work went really fast. Once they got the concrete truck there, everything was timed out very well. They had everybody working very hard, putting the skimmers in. There's our contractor right there, and he's putting the skimmer in and trying to mark it so that the top of the skimmer would be in line with the newly poured concrete. The concrete subcontractor that was hired by our pool contractor is there in that mini cat, and he's dumping more stone around the pool, while the other workers are putting in a form. It's a Stegmeyer form that adheres to the tile all the way around the pool, and they have they put 2x4s, and then after they put the form all the way around the pool and they put the 2x4s in, then they pour the concrete into the coping area to form the concrete coping. So they had a concrete truck outside all the time, constantly mixing, and new trucks were arriving every couple hours to supply them more. Now here they're smoothing out the coping, the freshly poured concrete. We also had an additional imprint put on the coping. It's a stamping that they put on top of the coping to give it a texture. And here is the grounding grid and bonding that was put all the way around the pool. So there's this metal grid goes all the way around the pool, and then they have a 6-gauge copper wire that they string around the pool, and they connect it to each and every metal handrail and ladder. So, and then at the end they have a ground point that grounds all the metal objects around the pool to prevent any kind of shock that would be caused by the potential voltage difference between the metal and the water. Here they're getting ready to pour the concrete for the decking, and that's really a messy job. Those guys are in there with boots, and they're just kind of smoothing the concrete out and getting it level, and it's a really sophisticated process and takes a lot of teamwork to properly perform this process. You can see some of the concrete decking that has already been smoothed out and poured, and at this corner of the pool is where they started. You can see the beginning of where they started right there, and they're working their way around the pool. Right here we have a detailed view of what they're doing to smooth out from the pouring all the way through to the final process where they actually smooth it out. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 guys plus the guy that brings in the concrete. Here it is at the end, and they're putting the final touches on the last bit of cement that had to be poured. And this is at the end of the day. They did this whole project of pouring the concrete on both the coping and the decking in one day. I think it had to be that way. So they were just looking for a window of good weather so that they could do the whole job in one day, because they just can't come back and have a two-part. Well, once the concrete is poured, it has to be smoothed out, and smooth transitions between each one of the slabs can only be done while the concrete is in a workable fashion. Here's the end of the project, and they're taking pictures of the work. It's a big pool. It's a 40 by 60 pool, and so this is a big job for these guys, and it's a lot of work, believe me. There's the a look, an overview of the pool decking all the way around, and we didn't replace the outer decking portion, and we're saving that for another time. The reason we chose the inner portion to do it is because the old coping was 2 inches and the new coping was 3.5 inches, and it would have left a 1-inch ledge all the way around. We couldn't have that. So they taper up the decking to meet the new coping. Here's the finished pool right here. This is the day before the opening on June 13th, and looks pretty good, and a lot of work, and we're really proud of our Stonehenge pool. And there's the pool house, and we planted some grass seed in the areas that they tore up with all the cement trucks. Here's the opening day. Thanks for watching.